Good morning and welcome to Ellon Academy's virtual assembly, the first one of session 21-22. We'd really hoped that we could have had everybody in the theatre for assemblies, but we've got 6 weeks to wait until we see whether or not we can lose some of the COVID mitigations that the government have put in place for schools. So, welcome back to everybody that's returning to school, and also a very warm welcome to our new first years and our new pupils who are joining us today. It's very good to have you here. We've looked forward to meeting you, and hopefully, we will see you around the school in the days to come. For those pupils who have just had SQA assessment results, well done to all of you who have done so well. We're really pleased with how you showed great resilience and perseverance in such challenging and difficult times, particularly in term 4 before the summer. And you will be, or you have been rewarded for that diligence and hard work by the results that you deserve. For young people who have lodged appeals with the SQA, we'll be in touch with you very soon to progress that system for you. So, as I said, the government has made stipulations for secondary schools in Scotland for returning this week and for continuing for the next 6 weeks. So, as previously, all pupils will be asked to use the pupil doors. So, senior pupils, you come in via the pupil doors as pre-COVID times, and the sanitising stations will still be there for everyone to sanitise their hands as they arrive. It's also been stipulated that face coverings should be worn by pupils and staff at all times, except whilst eating and drinking, and pupils need to maintain a 1 metre distance from any adult within the school. Face covering exemptions for those pupils that had them previously will still stand, and if you are new and you would like to discuss an exemption, please ask your parent or carer to send a letter to me, and you can give that letter to your register teacher or your guidance teacher to pass on. From today, we've started a new initiative called the Late Gate, which means that the pupil doors will be locked at 8:25, which is the start of registration, and any pupils arriving after that time will be required to go to the reception, where you will find myself and the senior leadership team sitting there waiting for you to arrive, and we will register your arrival, and persistent latecomers will have conversations with guidance and parents to try and put a stop to that late coming. Some good news, PE changing rooms are now open, so you're wearing your school uniforms, you can change into the appropriate PE kit, and then you can change back into your school uniform when your PE lesson is over. Also good news that the pitches are now in playable condition. The work that was required to be done has now been completed over the summer, and they are ready to play, which is excellent news, and we've waited a long time for this. Your gathering areas or bubbles, again for COVID safety. For first years, your area is the school canteen, and that's for before school, during break and lunchtime, and after school if you're waiting for buses or friends. For S2 and 3, it's the sunken social area for you. For S4, it's the street and the canteen. For S5 and 6, you've got your own respective social areas on the first and second floors. So our expectations, we are really need people to be ready to learn and to be respectful of each other and our school environment, and to be safe in the way that we behave within that environment. The 5 pillars of successful learning will be new to the first year pupils and any new pupils joining us today, but they are punctual, which means being on time and ready to learn. They are being prepared, which again is being ready to learn with the equipment and the things that you need for each particular lesson on any given day. Participating in the lesson is really important, because by taking part, you learn through activities and through listening to your teachers with demonstrations and trying things out yourself. Persevering means to keep trying, and sometimes we don't grasp something new the first time, and we need to keep trying until we can get our minds around the task or the activity we're trying to achieve. If you do the first four, progressing will naturally happen. Progressing means you make progress in your learning, and if you do that, you'll be doing very well. And everybody is expected to work at their own ability, but doing their very best in each lesson that they take part in. There are some general school rules which will be new to new pupils, but also as reminders to existing pupils. So conduct on school buses and transport is always monitored, and pupils behaving in any unacceptable ways will be dealt with. We want young people to stick to the one-way system around the school for safety. We need young people to walk in corridors and around the school, needless to say, for safety reasons again. We also need you to do as you're asked when you're asked, and that's just common courtesy. So if a member of staff, it might be Mrs. Willocks, the cleaner, or it might be me, or it might be a prefect, or it might be the head boy or girl. You do as you're asked when you're asked by whichever adult is asking you to do something, and there will be a very good reason if that is the case. In classrooms, we do not have any chewing, particularly chewing gum, which is, we don't want our lovely desks and chairs with horrible bits of chewing gum stuck under the seats and under the tables. That's not pleasant. Water bottles are permitted in school, but this is at your teacher's discretion. So if you are using expensive equipment in school, for example, you might be using an iPad or you might be using a laptop, and the teacher doesn't want any accidents with water on these equipment, then you'll be guided by them as to what is appropriate. We don't want any young people leaning over the banisters or barriers on the upper floors. It's very tempting if you want to wave to your friends that might be on the lower floors, but it's not safe. So you don't lean away from the barriers, and you keep away from them, and you don't run on stairs either. When queuing for the canteen, you do so in a respectful way so that everybody feels safe in the queue. We need every young person to pick up and dispose of their own litter, their plates, their dishes, and their waste, because it's no one else's job to do that. It's only respectful to clear away after yourselves. Nobody else should be doing that on your behalf. We need you to stick to the footpaths around the school and don't run across car parks or bus parks or roads. It's very important for your own safety because there are lots and lots of cars and vehicles coming into the school, particularly at the start of the day and at the end of the day. And cyclists, if you cycle to school, please wear your helmet, wear reflective clothing, and lock your bikes and stick to the highway code. And also make sure that your lights are working as the evenings grow darker and the mornings grow darker too. School uniform, I hope to see you all over the next few days looking your personal best in your school uniforms, and I'm not going to go into what all that entails because I'm sure you've looked at this prior to today and decided what you're wearing with along with your parents and carers. But what I will say is that we expect everyone to comply with our dress code, and one of the simplest reasons for this, a very important reason, is that we can spot immediately if there is an intruder in the school or someone who just shouldn't be in our building or on our campus, because if you've all got your uniforms on, we can spot anybody that might be suspicious very, very easily. It also makes everyone the same, and it also provides a sense of identity for our school, which we are very proud of. The quote of the week this week is a quote that I put together when I'd been here about a year in 2017. And I was thinking about what was important when it's someone's first day or last day, maybe at school or in a job, but it's these days that you always remember. And as the quote says, you will always remember the first day and the last day, but it's all the days in between that really matter. And it's everything that you do and you learn, the highs and the lows of life in between that first day and last day, that come together to create a special and unique person. You remember the excitement of a first day and maybe the excitement and mixed feelings of a last day, but the days in between are those days that shape you as a person and help you come to all the learning that you will need for taking the next steps beyond school. So think about that as you remember the excitement of the first day of catching up with friends, maybe some anticipation for some of you. It might be a bit daunting if you've particularly come from a small primary school, or Ellon as a place is new to you, but we will help support you as best we possibly can. So we'll see you around the school and hopefully we'll speak again very soon. Thank you for listening.